Riley Cooper, I mean, like, that dude deserves a statue. I mean, like,
number one on your Steam pile.
Hey, I'll tell you what, like, I mean, I didn't know until a couple days after the fact. I was like, wait a minute, is he the MVP or like we got the all-tournament team?
No doubt about it.
And then Ty Floyd, when I sure got 17, and like stole it from him. But I was like, when has a pitcher like been a part of like 5 of the 6 wins in Omaha? I mean, what a performance!
Coach, it's great to meet you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you for the time. Yes, sir.
Sure, I'm a little late, boys, at the spring game, obviously, as you can see. Couple of booze cruises here to do. Let's do it. Cruise. Grand salami to the boys. Finally back on track. And I got another one coming. Don't you think I don't? And that's how we roll in Tiger Stadium.
Just watching the spring games that were on television, one thing that jumped out about your squad is your quarterback room is very talented compared to a lot of the league and a lot of the country. I wonder, is it easier to recruit that position when you have talent or when you don't have talent? Coach Kelly, we're official.
Finally,
I'm
get a
telling
chance to meet you. Thought I had to get a private audience with the Pope. There's Jordy.
Monday through Friday from 7 to 9. Yeah, you see the notification, we about to go live. We got all your favorite guests, we got them in line. It's the Jordy Culotta Show, come have a good time.
Tearing up, answering the question, I thought, my God, if she gets offered this job, she's going to take it.
It's just a crazy, fun time at LSU right now. Isn't this what everybody loves?
From the boot to the east to the west coast, no matter where we at, we open up the phone lines, come and join the show. Make sure you tell your friends about Jordy Culotta Show. Yeah.
Let's go! Let's go!
All right.
Big day. Big day.
Nice start.
It's the Jordy Culotta Show. Come have a good time.
Coach, it's great to meet you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you for the time. Welcome in to a Tuesday edition of Jordy Culotta Show, live here from our Click Here digital campus and always built by our friends over at RMB Builders. Check out Rhett and his crew online at rmb-builders.com. Talked to Rhett yesterday. He's going to help us get out of the Government Street studio, which is happening this month. Smooth transition into the next tenants over there. What a great spot that was for us. But over here at Click Here Digital, our show is found its home, man, and it's good to be here at Click Here Digital every single day. We're on the campus over here on Interline Avenue. Remember to hit that like button, share button, comment button if you don't mind. Of course, Click Here Digital can help you with all your digital marketing strategies. If you need a direct contact over here, how to set your Google ads, your social media ads, you can just email me directly. It's Jordy at clickheredigital.com. Got a good show coming up for you today. The Southern Regional Medical Center phone line is going to be jammed up. We're talking a former Tiger DB and standout. Eugene is going to be here at 7:30 this morning. Has been pretty vocal on social media. He's also someone who is a proud member of DBU and former LSU player, defensive back, a part of the 2007 National Championship squad. He will be in at 7:30 this morning. At 7:45, we will have a phone call with Brooke Kirchhofer from New Orleans.football to check in on that dumpster fire over there with the New Orleans Saints, see what's going on with the Saints. And then at 8:15 this morning, a part of our Southern Regional Medical Center phone line, award-winning journalist Wilson Alexander will stop in and give us the latest of what's going on with LSU football. We'll talk a little bit about it before we get to those guests here in the first hour. If you don't mind, hit the like button, share button, comment button. Hopefully all of you found Coach Caskey last night, a part of Caskey's Clicker. That's going to be a regular for us over here in the studio. And coming from Caskey's Clicker YouTube page, we'll be promoting it here. We'll have him on as much as we can. Obviously, he's the offensive coordinator over there with Denham Springs and Coach Beard. But every Monday night, he is going to be breaking down the latest of LSU for Caskey's Clicker for you. So make sure you're following that. Make sure you're a part of that. If you watched last night, I think Stewie said it best when we got here this morning. It gave you a little bit of a breath of fresh air. It maybe not as bad as it felt like it was over the last couple of days since we've been reacting to that. Stewie is here on this Tuesday. Lloyd is back and healthy.
Healthy.
How you feeling, buddy?
I feel so much better. My goodness, my ear was bleeding. I don't even know how that happens, but if you cough enough, that was concerning.
That is a hack.
Still didn't go to the no doctor. Just beat
Don't
the.
You have one on the roof?
Yeah, beat the itis. I don't know if that's his expertise. He's one of those count to. I'm a pull your teeth on tooth on three and does it on one.
Knee.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So I try to avoid that. No, that I will do.
Right. You got anything for an ear bleed?
Call that in. But thank you for the time off. I feel much better, much more relief.
Did you ask for it?
I think I was forced to do it.
Right.
I sweat it all out. So we're better. And
well, it's good to have you back, buddy.
Yes, thank you. And LSU football helped.
Did it?
No.
Oh, you watching this?
Yeah, I can't take my eyes off of it. We're in conflict right here. Gofu's in conflict. That's okay. Make this house a home.
Brian Kelly yesterday, 30-minute press conference.
Jeez.
State of the Union.
Which usually does not spell good news if you're spending 30 minutes at the podium. I mean, ideally, these Monday pressers should be about, 18 to 22 minutes, kind of like give and take, right?
I was going to say cap it at 15. But.
I mean, you could, but, you want to make sure you answer all the questions.
It's like therapy.
Yeah.
Just get it all out.
It should be. And it felt a little therapeutic yesterday for the media members that were there that were asking the questions. Brian Kelly felt like he was on the hot seat answering the questions as he stopped the presser at one point and looked at Cobble and just told him, "You're killing me, man.
You're killing me.
I mean, you're killing me here." I think Cobble asked him, "Do you guys run combo coverages in practice?"
It's really a waste of time.
Welcome to the SEC, Brian. Say Notre Dame anymore, man. People are relentless about this thing. I mean, and look, I know that Louisiana may have this reputation, especially from the Ivy League states, especially from the high-end schools of coming down here that you may be talking. I remember we did the interview with Brian Kelly, and maybe you can pull this in the second hour, Stewie, if you don't mind, from our interview with Coach Kelly on campus. And we got a ton of feedback from it, and it was one of I thought it was a great day for us. You know what I mean? We really showed off, Murray and his wife, Claire Rogers, was an excellent production team. We had Darren DeQuano from WAFB, the post-production with Brian Dryden and Stewie and Lloyd and everybody, what they put together was just, man, it was probably one of our finest pieces that we put out. And one of the, most fed back comments was that when we asked Coach Kelly, like, what his expectation was when he was stepping into, I don't even know if he really realized like how he was presenting it. But I mean, if you go back to it, it's kind of like I was coming down here and I thought everybody was going to be dumb. You know what I mean? Like, and I know he didn't mean it like that. And I don't mean like, but he was saying like he was concerned that there was enough schools that were educating like the kids that he was looking for. You know what I mean? It was almost kind of like he thought, like it was a severely undereducated state, right? And I mean, look, 50 out of 50 will probably say that, but I mean, it's not as dumb as it looks. We're not as backwards as you may think.
We know ball.
And I think that is starting to hit him. You know, I mean, and I don't mean that disrespectfully, and I don't mean that he came down here with this. I think that's just, you know, it's just kind of like what the Mason-Dixon line has done. You know what I mean? Like, I think that people above that kind of think that when you come into the South, you get these, you know, toothless, backwards, you know, hillbillies.
Airboat riding, gator hunting.
Right?
Duck fucking.
You know, it's a fan base that knows what they're looking at. It's a fan base that understands what good programs and good football looks like. And they also have seen what a mismanagement of talent can do for a program. So yesterday was almost like he was having that moment in real time, right? I mean, like, he had to back away from the podium a couple of times and kind of like, hey, take a little bit of, you know, just kind of like, whoa. I mean, like, these questions are kind of like, they're hot, you know? I mean, like, and his, you know, Les Miles would just totally change the topic. He'd start telling you about summer vacations with his family, right? Like, Brian Kelly tries to cut it with, like, almost like a sarcastic humor, right? Like, where he's like, well, we're not tilting the nose, you know, and you're like, well, we're not asking about that, but we might, you know. I mean,
doesn't know how to put his helmet on.
I mean, it's like, look, man, nobody's being, you know, trying to cause conflict here, but
you're going to be taking
we know what we're looking at, and you're not as bad. Like Caskey broke down last night. The talent is not the issue at all. So, in my opinion, going up to the podium yesterday and stating that you're playing with inexperienced and first-year guys, man, that's excuse making at its highest level. Like, that is like finding an excuse and going out there publicly and stating, like, that's the immediate. There's no way that's the issue of giving up 55 points and not being able to stop anybody when you got guys out there, man. I mean, you got dudes, you got NFL players, you got pros at all three levels. All three levels. LSU's got a pro. Multiple at some levels. So anybody telling you that the talent is the issue, it's part of the problem. Look, is LSU DBU? No, they're not. They need better players at that position. But are they the 117th ranked defense in the country? Absolutely not. From a talent standpoint, absolutely not. Like we were talking about yesterday, call the defenses 50 through 100 and ask them if they want Mason Smith, Harold Perkins, or Denver Harris. I guarantee you, 50 out of 50 would say, absolutely. When can we pick them up?
Got a spot for you.
Nobody's turning down LSU's talent. What people are scratching their head and asking, how do you go to Oxford, allow 700 yards of defense, and keep Quincy Wiggins unbuckled chin strap on the sideline? How do you go to Oxford and allow that crap on the field and not put Deshaun Womac out there? Why does it take Whit Weeks a quarter and a half to get on the field? After talking to more people in and around football, it's a mind-boggling proposition. People are dumbfounded by it. I mean, it is unanimous when you speak to people in and around football that LSU is not this bad. Like, nobody would believe that LSU's defense is ranked below 115 in the country. And to not recognize that you got talent. You just got to go play with what you got. And the mismanagement of the talent is the issue. I mean, that is the problem. I mean, like, I'm not saying that they're going to be a top 20 defense.
You don't have to be.
But they're not a 117th ranked defense. So, like, to go up there yesterday and not just say, look, internally, the coaching, we got to get this stuff straight. We're going to get it straight. It's not, we're playing with first year, second year. Well, yeah, I mean, you're in a little bit of a bind in a spot in some spots, but it's not like you're rolling. I mean, Samford's defense out there, and I don't even, no disrespect. I just pulled that out of air. I don't even, they might be the best in their league. But I mean, come on. I mean, you're playing with pros. You're playing with guys. You're playing with dudes that are going to collect checks. Here is Brian Kelly speaking yesterday at the podium, a part of his Monday press conference. Stewie, this is 3 of him talking about the defensive issues along with the coordinator, Matt House.
Absolutely. If you look at the games that we won last year, start with Auburn, the Auburn game and the way we played defensively, taking the football away. If you look at the Arkansas game last year and the kind of defensive performances, clearly, defense won games for us. We had a lot of veteran players. You're talking about, Joe Fouché, Greg Brooks. We lost, Mekhi Gardner, Jerry Bernard, Converse. That's a veteran group in the back end of the defense that, made a lot of plays for us. So, look, we know where we're at. We're playing a combination of 15 freshmen and transfers, and they're young and inexperienced, and they got to grow, and there's going to be some growing pains. And I said that at the start of the season. When you take that many guys, there's a red flag, and we're going to have to go through these growing pains. But we're going to keep fighting, and we're going to keep teaching, we're going to keep coaching. But yeah, the blame does not lie at the feet of one person. This is a collective situation where we've got to coach better and we've got to play better. And we'll have to go back on the road again.
So that's Brian Kelly yesterday speaking about some of the issues in recruiting. And this is where I would just push back a little bit. There has to be enough foresight. There has to be enough looking down the line of the depth chart and understanding, hey, fellas, if we don't hit on a couple of these safeties that we've got on the board, you are going to be in a serious compromising spot next year. So Derek Williams is the number 1 safety on your board, and he's obviously playing the NIL game. You've got to shift your focus and put all of your attention into making sure that you sign that guy. Right? Like, I've heard a lot of pushback over the last couple of days that, well, LSU's got to get their boosters in line and get their money right. That may be right for the future. That may be the case for years down the line, because here comes Texas. Alabama's getting their stuff straight. Texas A&M's doing it to a different level. Georgia's trying to get in line and trying to get all this stuff kind of moving in the right direction. Florida's trying to be a player in it. LSU is trying to get, what's going on. And people are doing it in the immediate. What's kind of separating the pack right now is that A&M they're set up for a decade. Texas is set up for a decade. Alabama's getting themselves set up for a decade. I mean, that is what is the real encouragement of local boosters and people around specific programs of just trying to build this collective for down the line. Immediately, there's enough cash in the coffer of, if you got to make a run at a player, if you got to make a play at somebody, just one person, then cut the check. I mean, like that, because ultimately that is what this is. That is what NIL is. It's great for student athletes. It's great for them to be able to collect off their name, image, and likeness. It's been a long time coming, but for the most part, the major majority of the athletes on campus really aren't going to be affected by it. I'm talking about the swimming and diving team, the track athletes, the softball players, the volleyball players, the basketball players. I mean, on a lot of campuses, the baseball players are not going to be high commodities. What this thing is really put in place for is to get football players. That is what it's turned into, right? I mean, like, that is kind of like what it is. Oh, it's not pay to play. Okay, well, then what is it? Why'd Colin Simmons cry to Frank Wilson, telling him that he just got to go to Texas? Because, I mean, the money's too long at Texas. For as much as LSU would love to be able to compete and lengthen that money out to try and compete with the boosters of Austin, it's a butter knife to a gunfight. It's a different league. It's a different class. It's a different standard. But if you've got your own Derek Williams on the board and he's saying like, hey man, I want to go here, I want to go there, but I mean like, I can be hoaxed. All right, well then get that guy whatever he wants. You know, and if it comes down to where it's like the money's like so much and he goes to Texas, well, I mean, like you've thrown your heaviest punch. But I mean, at some point, you know, Derek he's got to come to grips like you're going to become a millionaire in college. You're going to be ultimately the goal is to make you a first, second round pick. And then you can always come back to Louisiana and have a life. Do whatever you want. You know, put your name on billboards, put your name on car dealerships, put your name on insurance, whatever you want to do. And you will be taken care of. You know, like that's the 40-year pitch. But that's the difference. You know, that's the Brian Kelly. Well, we got 1 year and transfer. Okay, well then you got to change your tactics in recruiting, man. You got to change and shift the way that you're recruiting the program because it's all different now. I mean, like with NIL being on the table and being a part of the discussion, the approach, what people are doing, how it's being, you know, just kind of done is different. And I hear graduate champions, and I think it's a great message to push. And there's a lot of people out there that hear that message and they embrace that message and they want to be a part of that. But I got to, you know, like, look, I'm all about the academic part. Get the education, get the diploma, get the degree, go get the experience. But what are we talking about here? I mean,
You come here to play school.
This is a sports show. The content is built around LSU football. It's built around making LSU one of the top programs and seeing them exceed and succeed at that level. A lot of these guys, you know, I mean, if they're graduating while they're still playing on campus, I mean, I'd like them to be contemplating going to the league after 3 years. Those are the type of players that you're looking for, right? I mean, they can always come back and grab their degree. Take those online courses in the offseason in their first NFL year. Or they come back and make more money and make themselves a first-round pick. Either way, I'm looking for the best football players. I'm not necessarily looking to build a Boy Scout club. And I think that's the shift that either Kelly, because one thing we got to recognize, he's not going anywhere. I mean, that seat is freezing cold. It's going to take a lot more than, you know, not playing Whit Weeks for a quarter and a half to make it hot. So he's got to figure it out. And one of the bites yesterday was, Stewie, I believe this is an early one, when he said that, not 6, we'll get to 6. It was about him, it was about when he was saying that, you know, I'm not here to waste time. Was that the opening statement? I mean, it was early in the press conference when, you know, I mean, maybe it's 4. Try 4 here, Stewie. Let's see if this is it. But I mean, like the question asker is kind of alluding like, well, you're kind of taking your time doing it. And he's like, kind of backs away. He's like, whoa, I don't have to. Okay, well, that's good to hear. That's good to hear because there needs to be a sense of urgency of, you know, really kind of getting the tanker turned and you know what, some of the changes have to be recognized of maybe this isn't the best course of action. Here he is, Stewie. This is yesterday, number 4, Brian Kelly.
Well, we have a process that we look when we win. We rely on our process for consistency, right? And when we lose, we do the same thing, but sometimes you have to tweak your process, right? There are things that you tweak. And so in our total preparation, it's always about the physical, the technical, the tactical, and the mental. So will there be some tweaks? Possibly, technically, sure. Tactically, absolutely. Where there'll be some tweaks physically, certainly. Maybe we have to do some things, but we have a process so we don't get caught up in the emotions of what might or might not happen. So we always rely on our process so we can stay consistent on a day-to-day basis. And we'll rely on our process whether things are going well or sometimes when there's some adversity like there is right now.
So that's Brian Kelly speaking of. That's not the exact one I was looking for, but he was talking yesterday about how, look, he's not playing with time, and that is good to hear because sometimes you wonder where is the urgency? Where is the sense of urgency that you're kind of looking for here. Eugene is coming up here in a couple of minutes.
I think 7 was what you were looking for.
Let's try it, Stewie. Try 7.
Yeah, so, we got home at around 2 a.m. I got about 4 or 5 hours sleep, and since that time, we've been having those discussions up until I walked into this door right here. So that point is exactly what we're spending time on. I think we've come up with some valid kind of solutions to where we want to go moving forward. Look, we missed a lot of tackles that gave up a lot of yards after the misses. We've got to be better in the fundamentals, and our guys know that. We've got to get the ball on the ground. We've got to create a new line of scrimmage, and that will be job 1 and job 2 as we move forward on Tuesday.
Remember, we're brought to you daily by Katie's Restaurant. Katie's is located down in New Orleans on Iberville Street. You can find Katie's online, katie'sinmidcity.com. Katie'sinmidcity.com is where you can find them online. Great New Orleans-style menu with some St. Louis-style pizza and freezing cold beer. Best service in town you can find over in New Orleans, in Mid-City. katie'sinmidcity.com. They got a sister restaurant, Francesca's, that's located over in Lakeview that you can find as well online. katie'sinmidcity.com. katie'sinmidcity.com. We come back, former LSU standout Eugene will stop by with us. We'll get some of his thoughts from a former player and a resident of DBU. We'll stop in here next on the Jordy Culotta Show. Make sure and hit that like button, share button, comment button if you don't mind. We'll be right back here with more of the Culotta Show built by RMB Builders. Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz.
The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you by A-Bears Lawn Maintenance. Commercial or residential, A-Bears Lawn Maintenance is ready to work. A-Bears can tackle all your homeowners association requirements. Call Blake at 225-485-8022. A-Bears Lawn Maintenance.
In a wreck, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys is ready to go to work for you. Come meet your team.
I'm your intake specialist. I coordinate your case and connect you with your attorney and paralegal.
That's us, your legal team.
Thanks.
And we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
I'm your settlements and disbursement manager, and I'm here to get you paid on time.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Put our team to work today. Just call us. Get it done.
Hey Tiger fans, when you're traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, make sure to visit Tom and Wright Granning at Go Mart and On The Go Deli, where you can fill up your tank and your belly. GoMart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you may need on your trip. Located at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left. Also stop by Wardo's Po' Boys at 309 North Broadway on the beautiful Natchez Bluff, where the Po' Boys are so good you'll swear you're in Cajun country.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
All right, buddy. Make it a good shot.
Oh, yeah.
Sticking the roof in.
For a hole in your roof, for a whole new roof, go roof. Roof, roof, go roof.
Hey, Greg, the roof up?
Roof's up. Roof's up. Roof's up.
Roof's up?
Roof's up.
Roof's up! Beautiful roof every single time.
True. True. Phil's Oyster Bar, a staple of South Louisiana since 1945, located in Southdown Shopping Center and online at philsoysterbar.com. If you log online, you can learn about the private party schedule, the catering menu, and even order online. Daily lunch specials Monday through Friday. Learn about the history when Gus Piazza took it over in the early 70s, made it an absolute stop-in for everyone who came through Baton Rouge, and now Anthony, his son, carrying on the tradition. Phil's Oyster Bar, Southdown Shopping Center, and online, philsoysterbar.com.
Let's be special. Let's be strong. Let's spell greatness from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
When law enforcement needed John Stefanski's help,
he stepped up and passed the toughest fentanyl trafficking law in America.
He's always had our back.
As Attorney General, I trust him.
I trust him. I trust John Stefanski to stand with law enforcement
And Louisiana families.
To fight back against violent crime.
I'm with John Stefanski.
I'm with John Stefanski.
I'm with John.
I'm with John Stefanski.
I'm with John Stefanski for Attorney General.
I'm with John Stefanski for Attorney General.
Malik Neighbors, a wide receiver.
Favorite pregame meal?
Popeyes.
What would winning a national championship mean to you?
It would mean a lot to me because, we seen a lot of the greats come through here, won their national championship, got, remembered for life.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Probably fly. That or telekinesis.
What's the best piece of advice that you've ever received?
Do it wrong, do it long, do it right, do it light. Kyle Lacey, wide receiver, number 2.
Do you have any nicknames?
K2.
What's the best piece of advice that you've ever been given?
Stay humble.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Fly. I be flying in my dreams.
What's been the highlight of your partnership with us?
The bike giveaway was one of the best things. I was pretty excited about that one. Texas A&M, I just got a point to prove because last year I dropped 2 balls I should have caught. I'm coming for them for real.
That's it. Thank you, man.
My name is Harold Perkins, and I play linebacker.
What's your favorite pre-game meal or snack?
Pasta with a little steak, something that's not too heavy.
Any superstitions or pre-game rituals?
I pray a lot. Just be me and God before the game. Perky worky. I like when they call me the percolator. I like that.
If anyone gets in a wreck, who should they call?
Gore.
Thanks. Where were you born at, Greg?
Hattiesburg, Mississippi. But I claim 504 food because I was raised there my whole life. Favorite type of food is spaghetti. But you need to try spaghetti with some corn on the side. Funniest person I'd probably get Kyron Lacey. He be having me joked out every time I talk to him.
Who's the most athletic?
Besides myself, Malik. Future self, just take one day at a time, one step at a time. If you're doing something, just be where your feet are. Make sure you give 100% effort.
What is something on your bucket list?
Win a Super Bowl. That's definitely on my bucket list.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Time traveling.
Who's the fastest on the team?
Like in a short span, I would say quick trigger, I'm taking perk. One thing most people don't know about me, probably that I moved 12 times growing up, 12 different states.
Who's the most savage on the team?
Mason Smith. Mason Smith, definitely.
And who gets it done?
Gordon.
Thank you, man. That's great.
Emory Jones, right tackle.
What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Got it from my mom, and she just told me, always keep your head on the swivel.
Favorite subject?
Math, easy. I kind of keep it light. Give me some type of red beans or something like that. Throw a little cornbread on the side.
Light with red beans.
Yeah, just a little bit. I am superstitious. I got some PSDs that's purple and yellow and white. I wear them every game. I feel like they my lucky draws, and you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep doing it.
Missing us! Let's be special! Let's be strong! Let's smell greatness! From the top! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
Welcome back here, Jordy Culotta Show. As always, we are built by RMB Builders, and daily we are brought to you by our friends over at Hughes Mechanical Contractor. Remember, over at Hughes, they can get out and test your air conditioning, get you ready for the winter that is coming up. HughesMechanical.net online. HughesMechanical.net is where you can find them online. Tell Travis and the crew that you heard it right here. 225-658-2147. 225-658-2147. Residential or commercial HVACs, they can help you out over at Hughes Mechanical online at HughesMechanical.net. About to link up with former defensive back LSU standout Eugene, who was a redshirt freshman on that 2007 national championship squad, was a 4-year letterman at LSU, had 12 starts, played in 51 games for the Tigers. His best season probably back in 2008. He started 9 games, 35 tackles, was a big 5-star coming out of Gestrahan. His son, big time recruit as well.
Kind of grew up like you. Little John was all over campus.
Yeah, he was.
I used to see him at the Indian Mounds whenever I was tailgating.
That's right. That's right, he was.
Grew up in Baton Rouge.
He was all over the place.
That man knows the same dungeons you know.
He does. He's seen the caves.
Yeah, exactly.
He's seen the wells for sure. So we're going to catch up with Ja coming up here in a couple of minutes. We were just talking in the break, man, about how good LSU is playing the quarterback position right now. And as messed up as the defense is, and they're screwed up right now, and they got to get that right, because the most thing they have to get that right for, in my opinion, is that you don't want to waste this offense. I guess to a degree you already have, right? I mean, 2 losses in September kind of bumps you out of anything of relevancy in the postseason. Maybe, I don't know, for as wild as college football
wide
can
open,
be.
man.
I mean,
that's what hurts the most about the Ole Miss losses. It's
Right.
so open, and we were talking about this in the break. Like you said, it's for as mad as people want to be for the entire fire Brian Kelly, clear house, all these things that people are saying after one loss to Ole Miss, you could still win the West.
Yeah.
And whatever happens in college football, like, you don't, for as wide open as it is, like, it may not be a playoff spot, but you could still play for a New Year's Six Bowl. Is that a win? If you go into a I'll keep harping on this because it came from the head coach's mouth where he said it's not year 2, it's going to probably be year 3. Now, did he see this offense being this good? I don't think so.
Yeah.
But did he see the defense being this bad? Maybe. Maybe he saw that the replacements are he said it himself where you had 15 new guys on the defensive side of the ball that are green. They haven't played that much. And should it be this bad? No. But should the offense be this good? No. So it does feel like you're wasting a little bit of offensive talent. And if you can just figure it out on defense to not give up 700, maybe 500.
Right. Or just do one thing well, like takeaways, third down defense.
The third down defense has got to get better.
Third down defense is just, it's backyard stuff, man. You got guys running around by themselves.
You got people running into each other. You got DBs running over each other.
It's
on crossing routes.
It is wild how just
slipping and falling
out of place they are. Eugene.
Never out of place.
One of the all-time greats, one of our favorites, man, is here. His son now over at Tulane. If you kept up with his recruiting was wild, man. He was one of the top quarterbacks in the state, really top athletes in the country. Ended up at Tulane, now a safety over there. Ja, of course, was a 5-star himself coming out of Destrehan, was a huge commit to LSU. LSU fought tooth and nail. I think they got a commitment. Yeah, he was committed to Michigan and had him flipped late in the process. Turned out to be a great Tiger, as we said, played 51 games, was on the 07 National Championship squad, now a proud member of DBU, and obviously keeping up with the games. Ja, good morning. It's good to see you, my friend.
Hey, good morning, Jordy. Thank you for having me, man. It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me this morning.
Absolutely. Real quick, how's Junior? I know he's on Tulane's campus right now.
Oh, he's doing great, man. He's enjoying the process, man, at Tulane. He loves it, doing great academically, man, and it's getting better. You know, this is his first time actually playing cornerback full time, so he's doing great, man. He loves it over there, man, and
portal's open.
They're having a pretty good start to the season, so he's enjoying it.
Yeah, let him know about that transfer portal and how it works. John, what do you see, man? You're a proud member, like I said, of DBU, and obviously people saw you on social media, and I think you were kind of airing out a lot of the feelings that people were experiencing while watching that game. But you wore the colors, you wore the helmet. What do you see?
I think it's a pride thing that I don't see a lot of guys are playing with pride or having a sense of urgency to dominate as a collective, especially on defense. I don't really speak about LSU offense because, one, they're doing a great job this season, and when playing defense at LSU, our main focus is to make sure we do our job. And when I was there and years before me, we took pride, our DBU, and we took pride as a defense, as a collective, of guys not scoring and guys not passing a 50. You know, I can tell you a ton of stories about the older guys when I first got to LSU. I don't know if you guys remember, we played Virginia Tech and we won like 42-7.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was like a week 2 game. And we were shutting them out.
Yeah.
And then they put the 2s in, and I was part of that group. And the older guys like Stouts, Glenn Dorsey, those guys were heated at us because we gave up a touchdown. And it was just a standard that was set, and everybody brought into it. And playing with pride, it was the main thing, you know, and playing with the mindset of being dominant, that was the main thing for the pass, for the defense in those eras.
Yeah.
And now I just see that, from my opinion, I don't see the sense of urgency of being dominant not only on the back end, but as a defense as a whole.
Yeah, what is the relationship of like DBU to the current program? It's such a prideful fraternity, man. I mean, growing up when we were in college, it was C. Webb, it was Travis Daniels, LaRon Landry, Jesse Daniels, all those dudes. And then I would see them hanging out with you guys in the offseason. What is the relationship of DBU? What's the frat like?
I'll tell you, be honest with the guys. But they just have to believe in it. It's a standard that was set, and I don't think they're playing up to that standard, you know. And I see guys like Corey always go back and talk to the guys, and Tyron goes back and talk to the guys. And but the guys are there have to understand that it's a standard, and we preach dominance and we expect dominance, man. And haven't been seeing it of lately, but it needs to get back to that though.
Mm-hmm. Do you see talent when you watch them play? Do you see talent?
Yeah, I see some talent. I'll be honest with you. I made a tweet that we have to get back to recruiting and developing the kids. I mean, transfer portal is not always the answer, you know. And at the time, we had a ton of guys from Louisiana, and they got developed and they played well. And we had, like I said, we had key guys from Florida, and we get guys from Texas. Georgia as well, but the main guys were from Louisiana, and we would always see each other play and knew each other before we got to LSU, man. And so it was a mindset of just being dominant, man, and wanting to be great as a defensive unit. And I really don't see it right now, you know, and I haven't seen it in the past, but like I say, it's just a sense of urgency that the guys need to have to represent the DBU and to represent the LSU brand of defense that is normally being played, especially in the past years.
Ja, you were on some great teams. You were on a national championship squad in 2007. You saw some great defenses like that 2010 defenses was fantastic. With Drake Nevis and Patrick Peterson and those guys. Can you talk specifically about the difference of mentality of LSU and kind of what made it different? Because when guys would come back in the offseason, I know that they would call the football facility the jungle. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, leadership. That's what it was about. Leadership. We had guys like Craig Stokes didn't play, dude. They're going to hold you accountable. And I think that's the issue right now, that everyone doesn't hold each other accountable. And it's been times in the past where Craig Stokes, them guys going to get on you. Glenn Dorsey, they're going to hold you accountable. And they would tell the coach, if he's not ready, don't put him in. You know, and if you're not doing your job, you're not going in the game. Jesse Daniels, them guys didn't play that. LaRon Landry, they didn't play that. Chevis Jackson did not play that, dude. Like, if you're not ready, you're not going in the game. And they're going to hold you accountable. And that was the biggest thing. Glenn Dorsey, I never forget, my first time going in the game playing was at Kentucky. That's when we lost in triple overtime. Chevis Jackson goes down and I come in the game. And them guys like, dude, Glenn Dorsey like, dude, if you're not going to handle your business and do your job, don't go in. And that was the standard. Craig Stokes, they were true leaders. And I don't think we have that leadership right now that we've had in the past. That national championship team, it was consisted of all leaders. Ali Highsmith, them guys were leaders. Kirsten Pittman, leaders. Marlon Fairwright, leaders. Craig Stokes, leaders. On the offensive side, Jacob Hester, them guys were leaders. Matt Flynn, them guys were leaders. And it was a standard that the expectations were set high, and that's what we had to stick to. We had to achieve that every game. And we had leaders, and we had guys who were going to hold you accountable. You had coaches that were going to hold you accountable, and that's how we were always prepared and stay a dominant unit.
Ja Eugene, former LSU DB. What's the text groups like during the games?
I'm sorry, what you said?
What's the text groups like? The texting during the games like?
Okay, so we have a group chat. It's like guys like around my class. Like we have like Luke Sanders, Jake Cotrera, Kelvin Shepard, Perry Riley, Stephen Ridley. I know I'm missing some guys, man. I'm missing a few guys.
So wait, what's the story?
Group chat is called War Daddies, right? So, every LSU game we going bananas in the group chat, dude. In the group messages, we going bananas, man. And we just be honest with each other, and we express how we feel and give our opinions about the game and how is it going.
Tell me the story.
But it's crazy though, dude. It's crazy.
Tell me the story about Stephen Ridley racing Kevin Hart. What happened?
I love it, dude. I love it. Oh, he's gonna brag about that. He's still bragging about that, dude.
Needs the chest.
He was excited about it. Yeah. I said, dude, you about to get to like 500,000 followers now, bro. Since Kevin, I said, since
put that man in a wheelchair.
He put him in a wheelchair. Somebody pulled the hammy, man.
Hey, Ja, a lot of people inside of our chat are saying it's great to see you. It's great to hear from you. It's great to hear the stories. I know and hope everything from your health standpoint's doing all good. Pulling for Junior over at Tulane, and it's great to see you, my man.
Thank you, man. Yes, man. And yes, I'm actually at Ochsner right now and at a doctor's appointment, man. So I just want to let everybody know, man, I am a dialysis patient. Looking for a kidney. If anybody's wanting to donate or can help out, that'd be great. But I'm blessed I'm still here. Blessed that I can still see my kids grow and live. And I feel better, dude. I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel good. I'm positive about it. And I thank for all the prayers and support that people have been praying and thinking about me, man. That is awesome. Shelly Mullinex, she used to be the sports trainer at LSU, always reaches out to me and help me with anything I need and any information I need as well. So big shout out to her, man. But yeah, I've been loving it, man. The journey is different, and I love my Tigers, be honest. And I'm always be honest about it because I come from of the program where we had guys in great leadership. And Junior's doing well at Tulane, man. I'm excited to be a dad about it and just follow him as his journey goes on as well.
We have over 520 people watching this live right now, and usually hit a lot of people per day. So if there's somebody out there that sees this message, that is moved by this message, that can affect this message, that can help this message, you can contact me directly, Jordy at clickheredigital.com, and I will make sure that it gets to Ja Eugene. It is great to see you, my man. Get healthy.
Yes, sir.
Love you, man, and we'll be in touch.
Love you, Joe, man. Anytime, man. Anytime. Thank you so much, dude.
Absolutely, bro. Great to hear from you. There he is, resident of DBU and proud LSU Tiger and proud former Destrehan standout, Ja Eugene, checking in this morning. As you hear, a little bit of health there that Ja is battling, and talking to him over the last couple of weeks. He handles it in such great spirit, man. But obviously he's going through dialysis and looking for a kidney. If anybody out there, like I said, hears this message, can help this message and affect this message, and you're looking for a way to get in touch with Ja, you can just contact me directly, Jordy at clickheredigital.com, and I promise you will be in touch with him before the day is over. Remember our friends over at Tiger Air. Get some air with our friends over at Tiger Air. You can find them online at tigerair.com. Simple. You can check out the Zephyr model online when you get there. You can clip it on your hat, you can clip it on your shirt, you can clip it on your chain, wherever you're at, to keep you cool in the summer months, in the off season. If you're at the ballpark or if you're in the hunting stand, you can all check it out at tigerair.com. Tigerair.com. It's a great product, man. It's easy, it's durable. You can pick it up in the game day model, the purple and gold model. It's got a great logo built around really kind of their partnership or their relationship with LSU. Former equipment manager Greg Stringfellow is a part of this as well. So there is some LSU flair in there. Check them out online. Tigerair.com. Tigerair.com is where you can learn more. But it is a tested piece of equipment that is it's a cool product. Check it out online. Tigerair.com. Tigerair.com. Hour 2, we will be back here with the Jordy Culotta Show. We will talk to Wilson Alexander. I had to bump and ask Brooke if she could move to another day. So we're going to try tomorrow, as she had something going on this morning. We had something going on. The Ja interview ran a little long there. So we'll talk to Wilson Alexander and pick it back up in the second hour today of the Jordy Culotta Show. We didn't hear a lot of what Brian Kelly had to say in the first hour. We will play a lot more of those sound bites coming at you in the second hour as well. We'll talk to Wilson. If you have a question for Wilson, hashtag Ask Wilson, and we will get it over to the award-winning journalist from NOLA.com and The Advocate, who covers the Tigers, coming up in his typical 8:15 spot, which is when he joins us every single day. Also, shout out to our friend. I saw Tom Granning jump inside of the chat. I wanted to give a great big shout out to Tom. Tom has been somebody that has supported this show since day one, man. And we have always been grateful for his support of our show, whether it be through gas cards or just helping us out and supporting. He was down at the first Football Friday over at the Lod Cook Hotel and Banquet Hall a couple of weeks back, and he's always helping the staff out with some gas cards, which we are so grateful for, and his partnership over at, or his place over at GoMart. And he's also helping us out with our big giveaway. Stewie, if we can get the Breeze jersey from our friends over at Signa Frames, which we've been telling you about our giveaway. That's over on social media. We've teamed up with Signa Frames, and we're giving away along with them. Actually, Signa Frames is giving away. We're just helping them with the promotion of it. We're giving away this Drew Brees jersey, which has some LED lighting. It's got an official signed card on it. It is a sharp piece of commemorative memorabilia for you to display wherever you would like. And we're also having in this giveaway 2 Saints tickets to the Thursday night game versus Jacksonville on October 19th. We're going to shut down the giveaway on October 12th, which is next Thursday. We'll announce the giveaway on October 13th, which is Friday the 13th. And in that giveaway, along with the Breeze jersey from our friends over at Signa Frames, Tom has helped us out with his Saints tickets, and we're going to throw those into the pile as well with 2 tickets in a great seats. Lil J and I sat in the seats for the final preseason game against the Texans. I believe it's section 117, just a couple of rows up off the field, and a great vantage point. So you'll have 2 tickets to the Jacksonville Thursday night game for the New Orleans Saints as well. Get over to Signa Frames, like them on Instagram, give them a comment, and tag 3 people in the post, and you'll be qualified to win that Drew Brees jersey and 2 Saints tickets to the Jacksonville Jaguars and Saints game coming up on October 19th. Compliments of our friend Tom Granning and GoMart that has been supporting here since day one. We love it, man. Hour 2 coming back with you live here from Click Here Digital and brought to you by R&B Builders. If you're in the market for a mortgage lender, you need to start with Doug Bickley and his team. Bickley has built a crew with over 50 years of combined lending experience. They've been in business for over 20 years, and they love helping their clients achieve the American dream of home ownership. They're also key with working in real estate agents and helping their clients getting same-day pre-approval. They average about 1 buyer a day getting them in a home. If you want to get in touch with Doug and his crew, it's easy. Call them 225-214-5154. 225-214-5154. Go see the Bickley team today. They're located on the corner of Coursey Boulevard and Sherwood Forest right here in Baton Rouge.
What's up?
What's happening?
Chilling with a couple of cool guys. You?
Chilling and watching some tube. Hold on.
Did you do it?
Hold on. Did you do it?
Roof's up.
Hold on.
Roof's up?
Roof's up!
Roof's up!
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
Beautiful roof every single time.
True. True.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Are you looking for sound financial advice? Then get in touch with Daniel Newman of Edward Jones. You can call him today at 225-261-8262 or email him daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. If you're planning for retirement, saving for college, for children or grandchildren, or just looking for sound investment opportunities, get in touch with Daniel today, 225-261-8262, located on Magnolia Square Drive in Central. Daniel Newman of Edward Jones.
You can't put the cart before the horse. That'd be like, will you marry me?
Do I know you?
Never sign a contract with a roofer before he gets on your roof. Call Go Roof instead. We offer a free, no-obligation inspection. A beautiful roof every single time. Bobby, goes in the front. Belmont Stakes Race Training. I'm sticking to roofing.
Roof, roof, go roof.
Kentucky Derby Training. I'm sticking to roofing.
Roof, roof, go roof.
Offensive player of the game from LSU, Joe Burrow.
Football is life. Football is Joe Burrow.
Click Here Digital, the home of the Jordy Culotta Show. Online at clickheredigital.com. If you're looking to set Google ads, set social media campaigns, learn about SEO, display video, or even creative, Click Here Digital has the answer for you. Online at clickheredigital.com or email me directly, Jordy at clickheredigital.com. Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz.
The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you by A-Bears Lawn Maintenance. Commercial or residential, A-Bears Lawn Maintenance is ready to work. A-Bears can tackle all your homeowners association requirements. Call Blake at 225-485-8022. A-Bears Lawn Maintenance.
In a wreck, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys is ready to go to work for you. Come meet your team.
I'm your intake specialist. I coordinate your case and connect you with your attorney and paralegal.
That's us, your legal team.
Here you go.
Thanks. And we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
I'm your settlements and disbursement manager, and I'm here to get you paid on time.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Put our team to work today. Just call us. Get it done.
Hey Tiger fans, when you're traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, make sure to visit Tom and Wright Granning at Go Mart and On The Go Deli, where you can fill up your tank and your belly. Go Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you may need on your trip. Located at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left. Also stop by Wardo's Po' Boys at 309 North Broadway on the beautiful Natchez Bluff, where the Po' Boys are so good you'll swear you're in Cajun country.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
All right, buddy. Make it a good shot.
Oh, yeah. Sticking the roofing.
For a hole in your roof, for a whole new roof, go roof. Roof, roof, go roof.
Hey, Greg, the roof up? Roof's up. Roof's up. Roof's up.
Roof's up.
Roof's up. Roof's up. Beautiful roof every single time.
True. Phil's Oyster Bar, a staple of South Louisiana since 1945, located in Southdown Shopping Center and online at philsoysterbar.com. If you log online, you can learn about the private party schedule, the catering menu, and even order online. Daily lunch specials Monday through Friday. Learn about the history when Gus Piazza took it over in the early 70s, made it an absolute stop-in for everyone who came through Baton Rouge, and now Anthony, his son, carrying on the tradition. Phil's Oyster Bar, Southdown Shopping Center, and online, philsoysterbar.com.
PCS! PCS! top. Let's smell greatness from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
When law enforcement needed John Stefanski's help,
he stepped up and passed the toughest fentanyl trafficking law in America.
He's always had our back.
As Attorney General, I trust him.
I trust him. I trust John Stefanski to stand with law enforcement
And Louisiana families.
To fight back against violent crime.
I'm with John Stefanski. I'm with John Stefanski.
I'm with John.
I'm with John Stefanski.
I'm with John Stefanski for Attorney General.
I'm with John Stefanski for Attorney General.
Welcome back. Hour 2 of the Jordy Culotta Show, live here from our Click Here Digital Studios, as we are live here every single day over at Click Here Digital. Love this place, man. Part of the team. Remember, 20,000 square feet of office space. Again. What's that?
Tired of seeing this.
Oh, but here's the deal. If you break down film on football, this is a wet dream.
Yeah,
like
sex.
this is porn.
Ugh.
I mean, like, just...
no. Hurry, ran into a pick play. I mean, call it. Throw the flag.
Like, Braden Swinson's another one. How? Why?
How does he not
How does he not play? Wait, what has he done not to play?
Got the snap counts, too.
I know Deshaun Womack snap count.
Which Weeks?
Week's snap count was 41.
He got in there. I mean,
they played him predominantly of the second half.
Week's snap count was 54. Greg Penn was 91. Omar Spates was 41.
Say that 91. In this new era of college football where you have all the, like, they shouldn't be running 91 plays. Like, the average was around 65 to 70 on offense because of the new rules. If you're running 91 plays on offense, coach, your defense is out there a ton.
And, I mean, I don't know if you
Greg Penn didn't miss a snap.
Yesterday we were talking about it. I mean, Ole Miss averaged 65 plays on the season going into the game in conference.
And they're the fifth fastest team of, like, in terms of running plays on offense.
They ran 64 against Alabama the Saturday previous of hosting LSU. Versus LSU, they ran 88 offensive snaps, which was so clear and evident that that was their plan on the first drive of the game when they're moving at, like, warp speed. And really, you put them in a bad spot on the fourth down and force them to go for it, and really, you're in the right defense. Ogofu sees it off of the snap, what he's supposed to do, and second guesses it, and by the time he realizes he's supposed to be back in position, the ball's over his head for a touchdown.
Well, because he's in conflict. If he doesn't step up, then Jackson Dart's going to run. And so he had to make a decision, and there was really no good decision to make. And he just floats it over his head on fourth down. And that's the thing with the LSU defense, where what they do on first and second down, I realize they got gashed a good bit, but you got them in third and medium and third and long.
So many times.
And that's not just the Ole Miss story. That's the story of the season, where you get them in third down, and I'm sure people remember third and Chavis, where that became a thing, where it was anytime you're in third down, you're going to give up a conversion. Ole Miss was, I think, 109th in the country in third down conversions, and then you go into the LSU game where it looks like this is their money down.
And it's 9 of 12?
9 of 12. It's
2 of 3 on fourth down?
It's just one of those, because that's
9 of 16.
9 of 16.
2 for 3 on fourth down.
Ugh.
And that's where you can see that the talent is there. If you're able to get in third and long, you have people that you're able to get to the quarterback. You're able to force long third downs. And then whenever it comes to absolutely getting off the field, else you just can't do it. And that's not just, like I said, it's not just Ole Miss. Mm-hmm. That's been the story of the year. And when you have
that's brutal, bro.
An offense like you have, and that's where I think people shouldn't throw the season away. Your offense is as good as probably as any in the country. You're going to be in every game you play. If you can tighten it up a little bit on the defensive end.
Oh, I mean, 3 stops a game.
That's all you're asking for.
Really? I mean, truly. 3 stops a game, that you can force the stops. I mean, if you can get the offense off the field. But, I mean, you've got literally the best offense in the country. I think LSU's offense is the best in the country. I think that you could travel anywhere with them, and they are going to be productive. I mean, I think they almost get away from the run a little bit too much.
That's great. Well, that's because everything works.
I agree. And if I was calling the plays too, I would be like, throw it again.
Yeah.
Throw it to Thomas.
Throw it again.
Throw it to Malik. Throw it to Taylor.
Everything works.
Target Diggs. But, I mean,
Caleb Jackson.
You really could. I mean, I know people are like, well, they've not been I think they kind of have. I mean, you can look at spurts in the fourth quarter of, positive things of the Florida State game. They looked really good in the first. I mean, there's only about 6 or 7 possessions on the year. I mean, really, on the year where you're like, they don't look like themselves. I mean, they almost have a pinch of 2019's confidence level to them. I'm not comparing them in the sense of, but just when they go out there, you're like, they're going to score.
Yeah, they're ready to score.
They're going to score. I mean, the only things that has prevented them of scoring, in my opinion, is Jaden Daniels taking hits.
Yeah.
He's got to learn how, first off, he's way too valuable. He's way too important to continue to put himself in danger like that. The 3 yards just ain't worth it. I mean, it's just not worth it. Either get out of bounds or learn how to slide. He is taking punishing hits in the open field. And like I said, to me, I thought that was the play of the game on Saturday.
That fumble?
Yes. Why not? I mean, both teams, both offenses were scoring every time they touched the ball. If you give it up, that's going to be a game-breaking play. I mean, look, you knew early the defenses are horrific, terrible. It's going to be a day for the offenses here. So the offenses had to pull their weight, and that goes back to Kiffin's game plan. I think Kiffin early on in the week saw, fellas, look, run them. Run that defense, and by the third and fourth quarter, we're going to be able to do whatever we want. Scoring column in the fourth quarter reads 21-7 in favor of Mississippi. I mean, the plan worked out flawlessly. Mason Smith is the great example, but, I mean, routinely you saw guys bent over, huffing, puffing, trying to catch wind in between snaps just because, I mean, how many times did LSU get caught with 12 men on the field?
Yeah.
In key moments. Because Kiffin's just warping them. He's just getting on the ball. It was NASCAR. And LSU was just caught in they couldn't even get in and off the field.
Oh, they're snapping the ball multiple times where LSU's not set.
Oh, they 2 times they had 13 people on the field.
LSU had 6 penalties. 3 of them were
substitution
infraction.
And I want to say 2 of them came on within the last 3 minutes of the game.
Yep. And that's correctable, right? All of that stuff is fixable, but that goes to show that you don't really, either you're unsure of what you're doing on defense, or that's really what it is. You're unsure of what you're either running, and you're trying to get everybody set up on the back end to where we know what the call is, we get the call in, and we're lined up and ready to go. It's a lot of trying to get set on the defensive end, and as much as this sucks to say, this is probably, you can't account for not having Greg Brooks. What happened, but he was your guy that got you lined up.
Huge.
And Greg Penn does the same thing from a linebacker perspective. That's why he's playing 91 plays on defense, and that's special teams included, where he's that person that gets you lined up on the defensive end, but he doesn't do the back end. He's getting your front 4 and the 2 line. He's getting your front 7 set up. They're missing that Greg Brooks piece on the back end where he got you he gave you comfort, a level of comfort and confidence where everybody's where they're supposed to be. And it's hard to account for that. And the other thing is, we wanted to see Ashton Stamps. You wanted to see LaTerrence Welsh. Mm-hmm. If you're subbing them in and out every other play, you can't get a level of comfort at the position.
Well, you can't play.
You don't know who's coming in and who's coming out. You don't know what you're doing.
You can't play football. I would argue you can't do really anything with the intimidation of looking over your shoulder. If I mess up, I'm out. I mean, anything. I mean, like, I'm thinking, like, if I'm an early radio host and the boss says, hey, you screw up a segment, you're done. I mean, you're like, I don't want to talk. I mean, I don't want to screw this up. I mean, like, it just makes you timid. And I think football you can't play that way. And certainly at positions like defensive back where, man, that's a flush and move on play. I mean, like type of position. You can't play worrying about whether or not you're going to be taken out of the game. We're going to get to Wilson Alexander here, award-winning journalist from NOLA.com. The Advocate covers, of course, LSU football for NOLA.com that you can catch every Tuesday right here with us. Our show is brought to you by Go Roof. Our friends over at Go Roof are the best. GEAUX roof.com. Work with our friends, and you'll find out quick that they're going to become your friends really soon, man. They are good people. They will be to your house today if you need them to check something out. 225-927-8300. Like I said, it's not your roofer. You get a friend out of the deal here as somebody that you can work with generationally, right? You got kids buying houses. You got camps. You got other homes and areas that you need some work done on. Go Roof can help you out with all of that, whether it's residential, commercial, you own a business. Go Roof can be your roofer in your business as well. Online, GEAUXroof.com, GEAUXroof.com, as they are online there, and you can find them at 225-927-8300. We tell you all the time, it doesn't matter if it's residential, commercial, or roofing repair. Go can help you out. They have free quotes available for you. You got 15 years of experience. They're licensed and insured. They've proudly been supporting the area and community since 2005. Work with the best when you work with Go Roof. Count on them for roof repair, roof installation, and maintenance, as they've been providing that both from a residential and a commercial standpoint in Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas. No matter where you are, man, they can help you out. If you're listening to this show, call Go Roof, 225-927-8300. 225-927-8300 is the phone number, or online at GEAUXroof.com. Online, check them out. A beautiful roof every single time over at Go Roof. All right, we logged in with Wilson. All right, we got Wilson here. Let's bring him into the conversation. As you can catch him here every Tuesday morning on the Jordy Culotta Show. As it is always great to catch up with the award winner and a man of great hair. Wilson, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Doing good. All right, so take me back to Oxford on Saturday night. You were there. Wilson, that was an electric football game. I mean, like, if you like points, if you like fireworks, you tuned into the right one. But what ultimately happened in Oxford, from your opinion, to keep LSU from winning that game?
Bad defense. Terrible defense. How can we properly describe how bad the defense was? I don't know if that really does it, honestly, just saying that it was bad. I think everybody saw that. It was really, really poor defense on the defense side of the ball. School record 706 yards allowed, of course, just missed tackles and bad run fits and soft coverage. And, I mean, do we want to go down the entire list? Because that could take a minute. So it was just a really bad performance all around on the defense side of the ball. Sure, maybe the offense could have done a few things at the very end of the game to win that, like Jaden Daniels throwing to Malik Neighbors on, I think it was LSU's last drive before it punted up 49-47. That play happened, and almost gets the ball back, and maybe if you convert there on that third down, or maybe even go for it on fourth down, which Brian Kelly said was too far. Maybe, if you hold the ball away with 5 minutes left and you win that anyway. But you score 49 points, you should win. So it was all on the defensive side.
Wilson, is it fixable on the defensive side?
There are things that are fixable to a degree. I mean, we're talking about some fundamental stuff when it comes to tackling, and you would think that is something that can be improved upon. But there's also, they have to do that fast. I mean, you're seeing guys take bad angles. You're seeing guys just lunge forward. Kyle on y'all's feed last night did a great job breaking it all down in terms of just like the way that guys are tackling fundamentally isn't great at times. And that's surprising to see 5 games into a season. Like, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And so some of these things are, but in terms of just like the fundamentals of playing, but some of the things, there's just a talent deficiency in the secondary that is not going to get changed this season. That's going to take a full recruiting cycle. If they can get more out of the defensive line, Brian Kelly said, yesterday they're trying to figure out exactly what they can do to maximize that, which they need to, because that was supposed to be the strength of this defense. If they can somehow do that, and you start to get more pass rush, because that was lacking against Ole Miss as well. LSU didn't have a sack. Then there was a couple times that Harold was there, but one of them was a quarterback run, and then another one, Jackson Dart somehow handed the ball off to Quinchon. Other than that, you need some more pressure. And so if they can find ways to dial that up, maybe bring a few more blitzes. LSU hasn't been a heavy blitz team, and get some more pressure, then maybe those things are fixable. But in some ways, you are going to have to live with what you have to a degree and just try to get this defense to maybe an average kind of place for the rest of the season to give what is a fantastic offense some breathing room.
Yeah, how good is the offense, Wilson? I mean, have they been tested enough to be in the discussion of this good for college football this season?
Yeah, 5 games is a pretty good sample size, and they've played some good teams as well, and gone on the road to Ole Miss. Ole Miss does not have a very good defense either, but you at least had to go on the road and do that. And then Arkansas, when you didn't have it early, having to go and find it. On the road at Mississippi State, that's another tough environment, and so I think have proven it. It can be statistically the second best in school history if they maintain their current pace. Mm-hmm. It's going to be kind of hard to do that at times. But even if they drop below what they're doing a little bit right now, they're still probably going to end up as the second best offense in school history in terms of most, full team categories. Total yards, they're on pace for over 6,000 points per game. They're on pace to score 44 right now. That's what they're averaging, and that would be the second highest. Yards per play would be 7.77, which is the 2019 team was 7.85. There's so many offensive categories where they would be not right behind, but behind that 2019 team. They'd surpassed the 2007 team in a lot of areas to be the second best offense in school history. That's what we're talking about right now on a statistical level. And that is a team still that somehow has 2 losses.
I'm sorry on this, Wilson. Did you cover Burrow? Did you see it up close?
19 Burrow, yeah.
So he's the standard. How close is the quarterback position being played to that right now?
Yeah, I put up Joe Burrow in just like his own complete tier. Sure, that was the single greatest offensive season ever. In my mind, certainly by a quarterback, he was fantastic. Jaden, I don't think is quite playing to that level, because that was a guy who, number 1 overall pick, won the Heisman, 60 touchdowns, that is. Jaden's not going to quite get to that, but this is what he can do right now. He's on pace, as we're talking about, again, maintaining that current kind of play to score 45 touchdowns and throw for over 4,000 yards. I think his total yardage, if he maintains this, would be 4,800, and he would have scored 45 touchdowns. That would be the second greatest season by a quarterback in LSU history. An LSU quarterback other than Burrow has not thrown for more than 4,000 yards in a season. Jaden's on pace to do that right now. He's maintained some good things rushing the ball as well. And so, is it quite Burrow 2019? No, because I don't know really most people would ever be that kind of thing. But he's going to be right now the second best quarterback statistically in LSU history.
What is the challenge of Missouri this week, and how this is a sneaky game, man. This game does not feel like the one you want to be playing this week if you're LSU, right? How do you kind of square this thing up when you get a tail of the tape?
It's going to be another high-scoring kind of track meet by the looks of it. When you look at it on paper, Missouri's pass defense is really bad. And so LSU should be able to continue to have the same kind of success that it's having offensively. We're starting to get to a point where you feel about this LSU offense that against pretty much every team it's going to play, it's going to be able to score some points, at least give you a chance to win the game. And that should definitely be the case again here against Mizzou. As long as they're able to give Jaden Daniels some time, then he probably can pick apart that pass defense. And then on the flip side of it, Missouri's got an offensive weapon in Luther Burden who should scare you. He's got 644 yards this season. That leads the country just ahead of elite neighbors. Brady Cook has been an efficient quarterback. He's not necessarily explosive like Jaden is, but he's thrown for, his completion percentage is around 75. He's thrown 11 touchdowns, and he hasn't thrown a pick. And so, he's been really careful with the football, smart with it, and, just keeps getting it to Luther Burden. and he's somebody who can take a top off of the defense.
Wilson, we just talked to Eugene, who was on the 07 National Championship squad as a true freshman and stayed during a very prideful time of LSU defensive back play and defensive play at LSU. He's a former Tiger who is outspoken on social media and really had some good remarks here over the last on the last segment. And he really mentioned leadership as being a void at LSU. When you look at the roster, I think that Greg Brooks was somebody that fit that position and ultimately what was that guy. Is there somebody else that steps up or comes to mind when you think leadership of LSU 2023?
A couple guys. Mekhi Wingo, certainly. Mekhi's a guy who is not necessarily super vocal, but leads by example. Savion Jones was telling us a story a couple weeks ago about how there was just mess in the locker room coming out of practice, and Mekhi was just started picking things up, and because of that, other guys started picking all their stuff up. He's that kind of presence, obviously has 18. Greg Penn is another one, a little bit more vocal in terms of how he leads. Savion Jones again said that Greg would have probably been voted team captain if it hadn't been for Mekhi Wingo and Greg Brooks getting that honor on the defensive side of the ball. And so those would be the ones who right now would probably come to mind as your two main leaders would be Mekhi Wingo and Greg Penn. Certainly it hurts not to have Greg Brooks in so many different aspects, and we continue to think about him and what he's trying to deal with and fight through right now because it's going to be a long battle. But, he is somebody who was a leader of this football team. Another not necessarily vocal guy all the time, but spoke when he needed to, and people respected him when he did. And obviously, as a player, you're missing him and dearly right now in the back end.
Yeah, Wilson. What did you read of yesterday's press conference and just being in that room and watching it? It kind of felt like it was the first time that Kelly was almost being
held to task,
shoved a little bit, kind of maybe pushed up against the wall a little bit. What was the room like? What was your point of view of it?
Yeah, he was just peppered with defensive related questions the entire time, and he had to be. This was, like we said, the single worst defensive performance in school history, allowing 700 yards, and so there needed to be some answers for that. He was still maintaining almost sort of like a joking attitude at times. That's sort of what he always does in his press conferences, especially near the end when he just kind of kept getting defensive questions and got some that were like sort of very thematic specific. And so, I don't know, it was interesting. He wasn't necessarily defensive or like sort of on edge, but there was, maybe a little bit of an edge to him. And he just sort of kind of kept deflecting a lot of things. Said quite a lot without saying maybe a ton about what they're actually going to be doing differently, if anything, and kept talking about sort of the inexperience in the secondary, which there certainly is some when you compare it to the transfers they brought in last season. This group was not as experienced, but across the defensive side, there is some experience, not maybe necessarily the same exact level, but so it was kind of interesting, I guess, in terms of his mannerisms and how he went about it. It's sort of similar to post game on Saturday, where there was these times when he had an edge to him, but also these moments where he was sort of
flabbergasted.
Yeah, I think that's a great word for it. This is where they're at, and almost just sort of saying very plainly that they are what they have at this point, or they have who they have at this point, and they just have to get them better. But they're going to have to figure out a way to do that here in very short order.
Obviously, a lot has been made of the defense, especially the defensive line. What do you make of LSU bringing in Pete Jenkins, and what do you expect his role to be going forward with the LSU defense?
So he'll be an advisor, certainly not going to just take over that room for John Jancic, but be there to help him. And Pete's got quite a few connections on this staff. He and Matt House have known each other for a while. I think he and Jancic know each other. This isn't somebody who's also, when you talk about Pete Jenkins, isn't going to try to come in and just take over and redo the whole operation. He wants to be there and be helpful. He's spent most of the last part here, however long of his life, this sort of phase of his career being semi-retired, coaching up young defensive line coaches and going and giving these kind of coaching clinics. Jimmy Lindsey was a disciple of his, and when Brian Kelly, talked about hiring Jimmy Lindsey back in the spring, one of the things he said was that he had, had worked with Pete Jenkins and Rod Marinelli. So he knows Kelly too a little bit here, even though they haven't necessarily worked together for a while. So hopefully he can come in and change some of the things that they're dealing with on the defensive line. John Jancic was thrust into that role when Lindsey went down and is not been a defensive line coach for almost most of his career. I think he's almost been 2 years of his 30-plus years in the business actually coaching defensive line. And so he's been trying to get through it. But, maybe somebody like Pete Jenkins can kind of help with some of these sort of fundamental technical aspects of things that they need to work on the defensive front to get the most out of it. Because Pete's certainly got a ton of experience in that regard, even if it's just as simple as from the start, getting them lined up closer to the line of scrimmage so they're not playing like a yard off the ball.
That would be nice. Real quick follow-up. So do you expect to see Coach Jenkins on the practice field? And if so, does that role also translate? Will he be available on game day? Would you see him on the sidelines? Or is this going to be strictly advisory coaching from within the walls?
Yeah, so analysts these days are allowed to coach a good bit more than they used to. And so, he'll be able to actually get in there and on the practice field and coach. Games, it still comes down to Jancic, but Jenkins would be allowed to be on the sideline, I think, in this scenario. That isn't something I've asked about specifically, is like if he'll be on the sideline at games, but I would expect him to, because as I understand it, he's going to have sort of an analyst title on the staff. And so, he is going to be able to work with those defensive linemen in the meeting rooms and on the practice field, as analysts are now allowed to do these days, because they're allowed to do more coaching than they used to. And so he'll be down there with Jancic and, trying to get these guys on the defensive line better.
We've seen every cornerback that LSU dresses out this season play. Who's the best two?
The best two are still probably Denver Harris and Zy Alexander. We finally got to kind of see some of LaTerrence Welch, see a little bit more of Ashton Stamps. And LaTerrence, I think, particularly did a few good things. He had a pass breakup, and he was certainly playing with some energy. It just technically he has a ways to go. Zy came in when he was in and out of the game with an ankle injury. But when he was in there was some moments where you could tell he was just a little bit further along. And he hasn't, of course, been an all-SEC player or anything to this point. But he does have a little bit more experience, and he does seem to just be someone who they trust out there when he's healthy throughout a game, that he'll be the one out there. Denver's got so much talent; he just needs to continue to develop as well. And so I would probably still say Denver Harris and Zy Alexander. But you saw some things from LaTerrence Welch that maybe they can continue to build on. I would still expect them to go Denver and Zy as long as those two are healthy.
Wilson, last one, I'll get you out of here. Like you said, you saw 19 up close. You've seen almost perfected, football being played almost perfect, especially from the wide receiver standpoint. How good is Brian Thomas and Malik Neighbors as a duo together?
They're fantastic. It's so fun watching them sort of play off of each other, because Malik, especially here for the start of the season, has kind of demanded so much attention. People weren't quite taking Brian Thomas seriously as a threat yet. Defenders weren't necessarily doing that just yet. Now they have to. I mean, Brian's got 8 touchdown catches. That's tied for the most in the country. Malik has got 625 receiving yards. That's second. And so those two are going to have to. Defenses are going to have to account for them both right now. I think if they haven't realized already that you can't just double or bracket Malik and leave Brian Thomas one-on-one, then they're going to realize that now, because Jaden Daniels knows that. He sees that. He's been just attacking that whenever Brian Thomas has a one-on-one matchup. His hands, he had that bad drop, and he had one, I think, in each of the first 2 games, and we've seen his hands get a lot more sure. He isn't sort of making those same kind of mistakes. And he's got 6'4". He's really putting it all together. And when you have Brian Thomas, taking that leap, because Malik was already an 1,000-yard receiver last year, it just makes you feel so good about what else you can do on the offensive side of the ball, because you've got this tandem that is arguably the best duo in the country in terms of a 1-2 punch, and that is going to give LSU the chance to score quite a lot of points this year.
I lied. This is the last one. Does recruiting need to be looked at, the approach? Do you think that you've got a couple of cycles now to look at how they're approaching recruiting? Do they need to tinker on what they're doing?
Let's let this cycle kind of finish and play out. If they were able to get Dominic McKinley back in the fold in particular, and maybe Wardell Mack, then that would be give this class a huge boost. But they need to get better on terms of recruiting on the defensive line and at corner. They've got a few, I think maybe, 6 defensive backs between the safeties and corners in this class. So they're certainly trying to address that in terms of numbers. But we're going to also have to kind of see it play out again over the course of the next 2-3 years. Recruiting is one of those things where you're not going to know right away, even if the class number ranking is there. They got to be able to see exactly kind of who they bring in. So it's not a great answer because I do really think that it's like you kind of have to let those things play out maybe for another year. Year 3, they'll have had 2 classes in there, and we can kind of get a sense of if those guys that they're bringing in are quality players and able to play at an SEC level, because they've certainly brought in some good recruits. But in terms of the depth and their certainly approach to the defensive line and the secondary is right, then we're just not going to know for a little bit.
They've got to play Deshaun Womac this weekend, right?
You would think so. I mean, to have 5 snaps against Arkansas and then 0 against Ole Miss when he did what he did against Arkansas, and Brian Kelly had said some things recently about him playing more. That was surprising not to see him play against Ole Miss. And the question was posed to Brian Kelly as is he available? And Kelly said yes. So that would indicate that he was available against Ole Miss. And it just doesn't really make sense why he didn't get a chance there at any sort of point of the game when we know he can be disruptive in moments, certainly.
The usual stoic Wilson Alexander with the eye roll to that question is the best that I can describe on why they have to play Deshaun Womac. I mean, that should be the universal meme of play that guy. Wilson, it is great to see you again. Safe travels this weekend in Missouri. We will see you back next Tuesday.
See you, Jordy.
All right, man. There he is, Wilson Alexander checking in. Make sure and read his work. If you follow LSU football and you're not following him, you're out of touch. Yeah, you're lost. You are a defensive coordinator not playing Deshaun Womac in a football game. If you are not playing or following Wilson Alexander when it comes down to keeping up with LSU football. He's the best. We appreciate him being here. Remember, Barker Brothers Plumbing and Works. Shit happens. It happens, and it's happening with LSU's defense. They should call Barker Brothers Plumbing and Works. Jude Barker and the crew they got the remedy for Matt House and the defense. He would probably just tell him, look, man, unclog the defense by playing the right guys. Just play Womac. Play more of Whit Weeks. Play Braden Swinson. Put him out on the field, man. Stick with LaTerrence Welsh and Denver Harris at defensive back. Quit tinkering with it. Just let him play. Barker Brothers Plumbing and Works. That's the type of guidance and leadership you can get from your plumber when you call Jude Barker. Call him today, 225-776-2431. Tell him you heard it right here on the Culotta Show, and you'll save yourself 15%. Jude Barker and Barker Brothers Plumbing and Works. Shit happens. 225-776-2431. Call a plumber that knows all about it. Jude Barker and his crew. 225-776-2431. We'll be back.
Speaking of Barker Brothers, what happened to Deuce Chestnut?
I have no idea.
Suspended?
Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz.
The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you by A-Bears Lawn Maintenance. Commercial or residential, A-Bears Lawn Maintenance is ready to work. A-Bears can tackle all your homeowners association requirements. Call Blake at 225-485-8022. A-Bears Lawn Maintenance.
In a wreck, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys is ready to go to work for you. Come meet your team.
I'm your intake specialist. I coordinate your case and connect you with your attorney and paralegal.
That's us, your legal team.
Thanks.
And we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
I'm your settlements and disbursement manager, and I'm here to get you paid on time.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Put our team to work today. Just call us. Get it done.
Hey Tiger fans, when you're traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, make sure to visit Tom and Wright Granning at Go Mart and On The Go Deli, where you can fill up your tank and your belly. Go Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you may need on your trip. located at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left. Also, stop by Wardo's Po' Boys at 309 North Broadway on the beautiful Natchez Bluff, where the Po' Boys are so good you'll swear you're in Cajun country.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
All right, buddy. Make it a good shot.
Oh, yeah. Sticking the roof in.
For a hole in your roof, for a whole new roof, go roof. Roof, roof, go roof.
Hey, Greg, the roof up?
Roof's up. Roof's up. Roof's up.
Roof's up?
Roof's up.
Roof's up! Beautiful roof every single time.
True. True.
Phil's Oyster Bar, a staple of South Louisiana since 1945, located in Southdown Shopping Center and online at philsoysterbar.com. If you log online, you can learn about the private party schedule, the catering menu, and even order online. Daily lunch specials Monday through Friday. Learn about the history when Gus Piazza took it over in the early 70s, made it an absolute stop-in for everyone who came through Baton Rouge, and now Anthony, his son, carrying on the tradition. Phil's Oyster Bar, Southdown Shopping Center, and online, philsoysterbar.com.
Let's be special. Let's be strong. Let's smell great. From the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
When law enforcement needed John Stefanski's help,
He stepped up and passed the toughest fentanyl trafficking law in America.
he's always had our back.
As Attorney General, I trust him.
I trust him. I trust John Stefanski to stand with law enforcement.
And Louisiana families.
To fight back against violent crime.
I'm with John Stefanski. I'm with John Stefanski.
I'm with John.
I'm with John Stefanski.
I'm with John Stefanski for Attorney General.
I'm with John Stefanski for Attorney General.
All right, welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show. Great time of the year, man. First off, if you've stepped outside by now, you've seen like this.
Ryan
is like,
Burgess, I hope you enjoyed your run this morning.
This is a crisp fall football feeling
Froggy.
Great. Just a Tuesday though. It feels awesome. My favorite time of the year is because Major League Baseball playoffs get going, and I am a sucker.
Oh, I'll start watching now.
For the playoffs. I have not peeped at the regular season.
Haven't watched
I am
a game.
not trying to be some poser. I am not a baseball fan. But when the playoffs get here, I'll tune in, man.
I just love the tension.
It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is great drama, tension, emotion, competitiveness. There's one-on-ones in baseball. It's a team aspect, but I mean, it's a phenomenal time of the sports calendar.
I don't think my heart can handle it, no Moss, after the LSU baseball run. Like, if I don't have really a Major League Baseball dog in the fight.
Yeah, right.
But that's
you got 4 LSU players that'll participate in the 2023 baseball playoffs. That includes Bregman with the Astros, Kevin Gausman with the Blue Jays, Aaron Nola with the Phillies, and Josh Smith of the Texas Rangers will be a part of playoff action. Smith and the Rangers will open a best-of-3 AL wildcard series against the Tampa Bay Rays. That starts today at 1 o'clock. That's awesome. Gosman and the Blue Jays will begin their AL wildcard series at 3:30 Tuesday, today, as they will be in Minneapolis versus the Twins. Nola and the Phillies are going to face the Marlins in Game 1 of their series tonight at 7 o'clock, and Bregman will begin playoff action on Saturday in the AL Divisional Series at the Astros. Got a first-round bye. They won the division title, the AL Division title. Did you see the social media that the Astros put out of Bregman when he was standing in the middle of the pile with the shades on with the champagne, and he said they were all wondering what the Astros were going to do if they didn't win the title? Didn't win the division.
Was it the old
Kanye? I guess they'll never know. And he started uncorking champagne. It was a great look. They're going to play the winner of the, I believe they got Toronto, Minnesota series.
I do have a future on the Phillies.
Okay, Coach, you're still open.
Plus 3,000.
You're still open.
Put that thing in. What's the 7th month of the year?
That's July.
Put it in July.
Coach, that is a long haul.
That's a long one. I got a Jaden Daniels.
I do too.
Heisman.
I got a Harold Perkins Heisman. I don't think that was
from me and Lil Jay's trip out to Summer League basketball.
Do you have to go back to Vegas to cash the ticket?
You know what? I don't know that.
Damn. That would be so unfortunate if you had to go back to Vegas to collect some money.
But I mean, we're going back
for USC. I think you have to cash it within a certain amount of time.
Really?
Yes. I don't think you could just roll up with a ticket from a year ago and be like, "Remember me?"
Well, I mean, it should have a barcode on it. Right?
Going live in Vegas.
Going live in Vegas
for sure, Coach.
I think that's the last place we should go live.
Oh God.
I mean,
pre-record it.
Click Here Digital is live in Vegas.
Sphere.
I mean, a lot of their clients are
Vegas.
Las
Vegas.com.
Finley Automotive, the biggest auto dealer in Vegas, got them on a list. As well as other competitors in the area. I mean, I believe it's. I am urging and pushing Bo White. Like, we should show off that week.
Could we go live from the Sphere?
We should beat our chest. Like, we should call Finley and tell them we're going live from your showroom 5 days a week leading up to kickoff.
Ooh.
Oh, spending some time in Vegas.
Does it have to be
anybody seen Stewie?
Seen Lloyd? I'm banned for most MGM
I
properties.
tell you what, boys, I made a Vegas trip a couple of months back. Everything is on the table. I mean, like, I hadn't been when the last time I went to Vegas, like, it was a no weed policy. Now,
Coach,
I mean, it's Denver, Nevada.
I'll be here in a few. Leaving the hotel now.
Not only that,
it's on every corner.
It's a totally different spot. Yes, it's in your face. I mean,
you can't avoid it.
Everywhere you go,
it's in the Sphere.
It's everywhere. The Sphere opened up last night.
It looked incredible.
LeBron was in there.
It looked incredible 2 months ago.
Like, LeBron knows he's not a U2 fan, but it's cool. We'll keep that where it is.
LeBron.
Man,
the place is freaky though, man. The Sphere is like
it shouldn't exist.
Yeah, it is freaky.
And speaking of, I mean, Miami, obviously they're going through it right now. They missed out on
they missed out on
Dave Lillard. Obviously, we're both Levitard truthers, and now did you see Jimmy Butler at Media Day?
Yeah, what was that?
He went emo.
He said this is his Media Day is like his Halloween.
Oh yeah, he did the dreads last year,
kind of like Cam Jordan.
Yeah,
with his picture. Yeah, I mean, I get it.
I mean, they're going to have to put.
He's got enough cachet in the league.
But that's his official NBA picture.
That's what I was about to say. This is that's what they're going to use on the graphic.
Right. I mean, that is kind of funny.
It's hilarious. Did you see that man getting gas too? He's getting 145 days. Like, I'm going electric. He's like, because I'm trying to give some of this gas back. Oh man! But I mean, Miami. It couldn't be a better time for them. They got a team they got MLB playoffs. The Dolphins are legit.
Yeah, they just got exposed. Though.
They did get exposed a little soft.
They got exposed.
And then you have
Trey White popped his Achilles against the Dolphins.
Man, that was tough to watch, dude. Man, that was tough.
He can't avoid injury.
He can't.
Nope. Coming off the ACL, he was out 2 years for the ACL.
Yeah.
And this is what happens. I mean, if you were to bring it back to Mason Smith, whenever one part of your body gets hurt, another one has to compensate for it. That's what you're seeing with the ankle injury. Like, he's not 100%. And I can't go back to LSU Gold enough to where you saw him hobbling on the practice field and laboring Like, I don't even know. What number would you put him at?
I'd put him at like 50,
60?
55 maybe.
After Saturday's performance, Coach, I'd put him at...
Well, that was the worst case scenario.
I hate the fact that they just leave him out there.
I know.
78 snaps.
You could even bring the Jordan Jefferson discussion into the...
Why are we not playing our best
why
players?
doesn't that guy play?
He got juice.
Every time he comes in there, he's quick twitched. He's in the backfield.
That's
he's causing
everything
disruption. It's like...
That's everything that Brian Kelly said about him.
I mean, it's...
You're starting to get into that territory of, I know we micro-process these pressers, but at some point, what you say is you expect to see. And he talked only highly of Jordan Jefferson, where he's like, you're going to see more of him. You're going to see more of Deshaun Womac. You saw
how could you
less
not
of both.
Speak highly of Jordan Jefferson? I mean, it's like you're in the business of evaluating football players. That guy deserves to play, right? I mean, it just that's the stuff that's maddening, man. I mean, like they got to make tackles. They got to give effort. Players got to make plays.
Right.
I mean, I'm not pulling and taking blame off of it. It goes full circle here. I mean, it's not like any party is without blame. It's solely 100% on the coaches. But you also have to in the coaching angle ask when you have to ask the question. Are you giving yourself the best chance to win? Are you making the in-game management, making the adjustments, playing the right guys? I get once they get out there, you can't throw the helmet on and go, make a stop. You can't break on a ball and cause a pass breakup. But, I mean, making sure that the scheme, the calls is communicated correctly and everybody on the field has them and knows what they're doing. At some point, that's a part of the title. That's a part of the role, the responsibility. Players got to make plays, man. I mean, I've been banging the drum for LaTerrence Welsh and Denver Harris for a long time. We've seen those two guys. They got to play better. It's a hard position to play when you're looking over your shoulder thinking you're going to get taken out over, every mistake, but they got to improve.
How many snaps do you think Jordan Jefferson played?
I mean, I watched that game 3 times now. I would guess 15.
16.
That's how? Like, why? I mean, that's insane.
Does it feel like LSU was prepared for Ole Miss?
I mean, that is ridiculous, man.
No, it didn't seem like it.
I mean, what did you think you were going to get?
But I mean, you played them last year as the same
snaps.
coach. I don't get what
I mean, the guy is keeling over Mason Smith. He cannot stand up straight.
78 snaps.
Get him 78 snaps.
Get him out of here.
I mean, who is managing the game?
Pete Jenkins is coming to save the day.
Oh, Pistol Pete,
back. Just when you thought I was out.
They gotta have to get him a golf cart to get back Victory Hill down again. I mean, that was 5 years ago he was struggling to get down Victory Hill.
Roll him down it.
5-6 years ago.
Put him on Mason Smith's back.
Golf cart waiting for him at the top, right?
Absolutely. I mean, he can crowd surf down.
Yeah.
A bit. In all honesty, how did LSU and the staff think? Obviously, I guess they didn't know what the timetable was with Jimmy Lindsey. But how do you go into week 5 and you're like, you still don't have a defensive line coach?
That's what I'm saying. Like I said that yesterday. I'm like, I mean, I get it. I commend it. But I mean, week 5, what you want him to do?
He's not coming back this year, doesn't feel like. What is he going to insert himself into the coaching staff? Be like, I'm back.
I don't know if Kelly meant to say it, but I think he slipped up on Feinbaum and said something about chemotherapy on Lindsey. So, I mean, who knows what the situation is going to hold.
But even if you don't say that out loud, if you know that internally, I feel like Lindsey would understand if you replaced him. And instead you go into week 5. Well, we got some coaches here and there and here and there. And I know it's not the easiest situation to be able to find a defensive line coach in the middle of the year, but you have to have somebody that's expertise is that skill, especially with the way the defense looks.
No.
And they found some. I mean, how hard do you think they twisted his arm?
I mean, he was probably on the doorstep
for Pete.
Yeah, I mean, like
you think he wanted to?
You can't give it up.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, like, what do you mean does he want to do it?
Do you think Ed was second on the list?
I mean, Pete Jenkins he's everybody's security blanket.
Well, I know, but I'm shocked that...
Yeah, Saban did go get him
That's
last
what I'm
year.
saying. I'm shocked that Saban let him walk.
The Philadelphia Eagles go and get him.
He works with NFL
He
players
works
in the
everywhere.
Oh, I know that.
I'm telling you, you could go to Traction in the summer. You'd go to Traction during the summer. Name them. Name a draft pick that was going into that cycle.
He's the godfather.
And they were working out in Baton Rouge, Louisiana with Pete Jenkins. I mean, it was clockwork. I mean, you'd go in there and, I mean, they'd have top 5, top 10. I mean, just dudes.
Sweating with Pete.
Working out. And Pete's in there just like hand padding them. I mean, just coaching them up. But, I mean, from LSU standpoint, the 2023 edition of LSU's defense, bringing in Pete Jenkins in week 5,
Hell yeah.
reeks of desperation. I mean, like, really. I mean, like, just outsider looking in. If I was, like, kind of like opened up my Twitter feed this morning and saw LSU hired Pete Jenkins and I had no dog in the fight, I'd be like, wow, that is a Hail Mary.
But it seems like best case scenario. I mean, you couldn't find a better guy.
No, I mean, look, this is nothing on Pete Jenkins. I mean, like,
Yeah.
that's the dude.
You
like,
would just never hope to be in this scenario.
You got to go get him. But what's the expectation? That they're going to start causing pressure and getting sacks?
Yes, absolutely.
That is the expectation.
I mean, everybody from the outside, even the outsiders looking in, are going, LSU's lined up 3 yards. You heard Wilson Alexander say it, who's plugged in. They'd say, I mean, I don't think Wilson lined up a lot at defensive end in his time, but they're lined up 3 yards off the ball.
Right.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, right. I mean, it's
Pete can fix that.
It's elementary stuff.
Yeah,
I mean,
like that's why I expect it to get better.
Like, what's going on?
I mean, he's probably watching the tape going, what are we doing? So that's why I expect it to get a little bit better.
I agree.
Do you think you'll see as much as like personnel changes? Well, does
mean,
he have that? Like, does he have autonomy?
Sometimes it helps for an outside voice to come in and say, "Hey, why aren't you playing number 13?"
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Like, I've been watching a lot of film on you guys since you guys are hiring me, and a couple of things that I would, just kind of like the low-hanging fruit suggestions would be, I would play 16, 13, 40, and 10 all the time. Like, quit overthinking that stuff. I'm sure Omar Spates is a good player, and he did really good stuff at Oregon State. His time at LSU, he's either been injured the majority of the time, or it just hadn't translated. I don't know. I'm not going either way. He's obviously been injured with the time that he's missed, but him compared to Whit Weeks last Saturday night, let's just be honest. Our eyeballs tell us the truth. Number 40 is the better player. Why doesn't he play the majority of the time? Why does it take going down 2 scores for him to get the nod? Like, yo, man, it's your time. Like, what? He wouldn't make him a top 10 defense if you put him in there. Just gives you the best chance to win.
And then Omar Spates is once again listed on the injury report. Man's not healthy.
And why does Quincy Wiggins not play? How do you have a defense this bad, 5 games, and he is not at least some type of rotational 12-snap-a-game guy? Forget asking on the starters and majority snaps, and like, just get more guys reps to go have a chance. I mean, 6'7", 240 that jumps 40 inches is just going to sit and rot? Why? Because he can't get the scheme? Bullshit. That's coaching. That is coaching. If your scheme can't touch that player, change your scheme. When your defense is giving up a record-breaking amount of yards a week, and you've got guys that are standing on the sidelines that can play, you've got to use the resources. I mean, I know I've been banging this drum for a long time, and look, man, I don't want to take away that it's on the players too. You got opportunities out there. People got to step up and make plays.
Take it.
Right? Like, I mean, you can't give half energy, half effort out there and expect to get another rep. I mean, at some point, you got to have some wherewithal to you. You got to have some pride to you that just says, hey, look, this ain't happening again. I'm not playing like that. I'm not jogging. I'm not getting to the ball last. I'm doing X, Y, and Z, and I'm bringing y'all with me. But it's just it's very disconnected when you watch it. You know, I mean, there's blame to go around. You can blame the guys on the field. You can blame the scheme. You can blame the preparation. You can blame everything. Deserves really to be not only looked at, but like jumped into and really like roll your sleeves up and say, hey, look, the process it's not working up to this point.
The path. We can't even get the right cleats on.
I mean, like that stuff. I mean, come on, man. Slipping and falling. I mean, because they got the wrong cleats on.
Looked like the Sodfather was back again.
What?
From the Super Bowl.
What?
All right.
Hit that like button, share button, comment button. We appreciate you being here. Love the Tuesdays. If you don't mind, we'll be back with you tomorrow. And check out Caskey's.
I got a video. Somebody on Twitter said, "Can any of the offense play defense?"
I mean,
let's video.
Let's.
Shut that shit up! Put that fucking shit down!
Let's go. They got the swagger coach. Jacoby and Guillory with the player of the game. It just happened after the play clock expired.
I'd put Lance Hurd at defensive tackle.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I'd put
Malik at DB corner.
For sure.
He's got some DB tape out there, Coach.
I'm working down the line. I'm working down the line.
I'd put Will Campbell.
I'm thinking like a DJ Chester type dude. I'd drop him down on, put him as a tackle. He's a big, strong cat.
Will Campbell at nose tackle.
Campbell just, like use your Mason Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Emery just go take the double team. I would stand Emery Jones up at like defensive end.
Yeah.
Anybody
We've seen him
making
tackle
open field tackles like that and can move like he can, go freak people out coming off the edge.
Yeah.
Right?
Brian Thomas.
Kamori and Pimpton, I'd probably have a defensive end.
Yeah.
Brian Thomas, I'd
at
have.
Corner. Let him be your Zy Alexander.
Long
range
corner. Mason Taylor, definitely a Russian.
Mason Taylor, a Russian. Absolutely. He's got the bloodline, right?
I want to rush the pass, so we got a Hall of Famer.
If we're really going to flip the script, Jaden Daniels would be a cornerback.
Yeah.
I mean, how good of a cornerback do you think Jaden Daniels is?
He learned. I mean, he could take a hit. I'm sure he can give one too. He got blowed up.
Running back that could be a safety.
Oh, Armani Goodwin.
Logan Diggs.
I'd probably go Diggs.
I'd put it backer.
I'd put Caleb Jackson at backer.
Oh God, that actually.
Yeah. Aaron Anderson, your nickel back.
Oh, for sure. He could turn his hips for sure.
Trenton Holiday at defensive end.
Jeez.
That's what happens when you lose 2 games, folks.
Make it happen.
We're playing NFL Street over here.
Make it happen.
Go both ways. Iron Man.
Have a good Tuesday. Hit that like button, share button, comment button. If you have not subscribed, give us a subscription before you get out of here. Enjoy your Tuesday. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning.
Give me my darn theme music.
Turn my headphones up.
Hey, Chino. Put my headphones up, bro. Right there. Monday through Friday from 7 to 9. Yeah, you see the notification, we about to go live. We got all your favorite guests, we got them in line. It's the Jordy Culotta Show, come have a good time. It's the hottest show around, we ain't gotta flex. Call up G, we get it done, we earning our respect. Tell recruits to let us in, where they going next. Throw up the L's, now we lit, band playing neck. From the boot to the east to the west coast. No matter where we at, we live, mic'd up for show. Open up the phone lines, come and join the show. Make sure